Welcome to Business Destination Joburg. We are at the biggest and grandest oyster and wine festival taking place at Monte Casino. We just had to be here to eat some oysters. It's the first day of spring, but also to find out more about the local oyster market. So I'm ready for some oyster tasting. It's my first time. I have the most delicious drink in my hand, which is a Turkish Delight cordial. Let's go meet Gavin, the oyster expert.
I've got some oysters for us to try, and I'm going to do something different for you. You're going to try the oysters with a little drop of a mignonette sauce. And why that is because it's something that you'll be familiar with. It's got a bit of an onion vinegary taste. It's a French style, and you're going to try that, and I think it's not going to put you off the oyster. So you're going to try it first, you're going to have the oyster, you're going to chew it gently, and then you're going to swallow, and I think you're going to love it. This won't be your last. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get an oyster, and what we've done, we have actually already loosened the oyster in the shell. So there's a little bit of ice that's got in here from how we've presented it. And for you, in fact, I'm going to do it for myself. So I'm going to have some Tabasco. I don't like a lot. I'll just put a little dash of it on. And there we go, a little dash. And I will put a little bit of black pepper. Oops. And all you need to do, it's already loose in the shell, so you don't have to fight it off. And
just slurp it all up.
And what you're going to taste is, you should taste the sea. It's really a fresh. It's not a hugely fishy taste. It's just smacks of the ocean.
Okay.
Cool. So I'm going to do one for you.
It's already growing on me. I must.
So now this is going to taste more oceany.
It's fun.
Yes. 4 or 5 times and then swallow.
Okay.
Tell me if you can taste the ocean.
Okay. Here it goes. Here it goes.
This is a first-time oyster eater.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's divine. That wasn't so bad.
Gavin also shared with us some insight into the local oyster market. The Knysna Oyster Company is one of the oldest oyster farms in South Africa. It started way back in 1949.
Especially in the east, there's a huge demand. Not an insatiable demand, but definitely a massive demand. It's part of their culture is eating. If you go to China or you go to Hong Kong or you go to Taiwan, the guys are eating a lot of oysters. They're not eating them just 1 or 2, and they know their oysters. They'll choose an oyster based on its fullness or its flavor, and it's the guys. They consume massive, and obviously the east just. Massive amount of people. It depends on the time of the year. So summer here is obviously busy for the whole oyster market. Our exports are probably busier during the winter. During the summer we just trying to service the South African demand, which is quite nice. The winter when it's quiet here we're exporting. So it depends on a month, but it could be 30% export, 70% local, and sometimes it flips the other way.
This particular event is hosted only in Johannesburg once a year.
We only host it once a year, and we only host it in Johannesburg. My girlfriend and I were drinking on a Friday afternoon feeling fabulous. And we decided that this could be nice to have other people do the same thing. Because ultimately that crisp, fresh minerality of an oyster in your mouth is very, very exciting, especially when you put it through with a slightly acidic, well-rounded acidic MCC. It could just be really, really nice experience.
90% of wine producers here are South African, all from the Western Cape.
It's a leisure thing, but wine is something very, very special in South Africa, specifically because we're the 5th largest producer of wine in the world. So it makes it something that's really important to South Africans, and we should learn to drink more wine. And I think the best thing that's happened in the last couple of years, specifically tied to shows and festivals and things like that, is the fact that we get closer to the South African public. Wine is not so much this snobbery thing anymore. It's a little more relaxed, it's a little more social, and people start to understand a little bit more about the wine industry, which is, for me, the most important.
Nashina Mohammed for Joburg Today.